What's up, my people? Welcome back to Medical Football. Welcome back to another episode of the Manchester United Fans Corner. Guys, I'm your host, Shegu. Guys, amazing game yesterday against Liverpool. Amazing win away. We did the 5 things. So if you have not watched our 5 things, please do try to watch the 5 things. I felt it was a very smart performance. I felt it was a much needed win against our biggest rival in the Premier League. And in the worst place you can get 3 points, the most difficult place you can get 3 points as a United team, which is Anfield. So fantastic result yesterday, and we're very happy. So guys, as usual, Monday we discuss about Manchester United, we discuss about what is currently happening and what we should be projecting towards. So today's episode is about, first of all, I'm highlighting certain things that we have improved upon at Manchester United that it's not majorly talked about. It's not majorly pointed out because I know, yes, the results are the most important in the world of football, and that's the result on the pitch. But I think United is also getting some results off the pitch that we are not paying attention to. And that's why I want to do this episode, to see what are the achievements we are getting off the pitch. And then we look at those accomplishments we've gotten off the pitch. How can we build on those achievements? And also we'll talk about the transfers. As you guys know, we'll talk about transfers in terms of United needs to not just only get the results on the pitch like we did yesterday, but we need to also take that team to a new level, to the next level. Because as you look at yesterday's game, you would agree with me that, we got the win, but that's not the way we want to win every game, right? We want to win much more comfortable, much more dominating, like we did, for example, against Sunderland. And so we want to look at the next phase of United. What do we need in the next 2 transfer windows to at least get United's team to a really stable position? So guys, let's jump right into it. I think the first thing that is an improvement, let's start from improvements right now that we've made off the pitch, that we have not necessarily talked about. And maybe because of the results have not been good, but we're talking about injuries. United's injury record this season especially has been amazing. I think, yeah, we have a little couple here and there, but they are not long-term injuries. Really, they are not long-term injuries. And funny enough, when you look at other clubs, look at what Arsenal is going through in terms of injuries. You look at what the likes of Chelsea is going through in terms of Colwill already out. The likes of Kopama is injured currently. You look at, other teams also, both in England and outside. You see that a lot of players are getting injured. And also when you look at United, what we've always been used to, we always have injuries, right? And injuries keep recurring. But this season, it appears to be that we've made a massive improvement on our injuries. And I feel that's nice to see. Yes, we've had little players go out, little injuries like Mount got injured, the likes of Kunwa got injured, but they quickly came back. I know we've had a lingering injury since last season with Mazarawi, but goes out coming. I know that there's still that question. I know we have a long-term injury with the likes of Martinez, that's from last season. But the fact is, apart from those things I've said, and maybe Dalot maybe 1 or 2 games he missed, but the fact is, that's really big, a good injury record so far this season. And I think that will help us. That will help us. And I feel it's even going to help us because we have players that can play together for a long period of time and get themselves. And I think that's amazing, really, that we've not had that injuries. And not just only injuries, also, I feel the fitness of the team appears to be better. Yeah, looking at yesterday's game, for example, a very tough game because of the way we set up and the way we wanted to play. And even at a certain moment, you see the players were very, very tired, very, very exhausted. But you can still see they kept pushing. And when you look at the physical base of the players that we've bought in, that's number one. But also you look at the physical base of the players like of Dogu, you see Kunwa. Although tired, they still want to, to push and everything. Like we are a much more physical team. A much more physical team. Yeah, it's not the most physical of teams, but we are a much more physically ready team than we were even under Eric Ten Hag and even last season. So I think that aspect of injuries and fitness are totally improved, and I'm really, really happy to see. Then I think let's now talk about on the pitch. the improvements we've made on the pitch that people are not talking about, I think, is the composure in our midfield. I have seen this. I know it's not yet 90 minutes, and so it's not yet 90 minutes, but I saw this against Sunderland, especially it was very visible against Sunderland, and also in the first half against Liverpool. Certain moments were composed on the ball, and also you can also look at it that the fact of the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, who we have always criticized on this podcast, for example, of being long ball merchants. They play the long ball anytime. I think you also look at the statistics and look at the eye test, the number of long balls, the number of long balls that the Bruno take place, and the number of long balls that Casemiro plays have actually drastically reduced. Drastically reduced. There's now an intention in their mind that they want to play short. Yes, it's not yet perfect, but you can see there's that intention. And I feel that's what we need to do, because when you want to go to in the next level as a team, we have to stop those long ball transition kind of football. Yes, you will still have those moments in the game where you play the long ball, right? Again, even against Liverpool yesterday, we had those, moments. But the fact is, those are natural moments. Those are not moments where you force it to happen. Those are natural moments where the best option will be to play it long. But not just that anytime you have the ball, the next thing is not even looking at who's beside you. Next thing is just playing it up. So I feel now our midfield is becoming more composed on the ball. Yet it's not. Yes, I know it's not perfect. It's far from perfect. But at least the agenda, the idea of trying to be composed, trying to string the short passes together is already there. And I feel that's a major improvement that people are not talking about. The passion is improving. I feel, and I believe this Liverpool's win will give the players much more confidence to believe in themselves, particularly, not just in themselves alone, but to believe in the 3-4-3 system, and not just in the 3-4-3 system alone, but to believe in the manager, not just even believe in the manager, to believe in, in the club, and to go out there and deliver results. And I feel the passion will continue to increase the more, and the belief will continue to increase the more you keep winning games. So let's keep winning games. Let's keep winning games well. And when we do that, I believe, football is firstly confidence, firstly confidence, firstly, that desire and that passion. And once you're able to get that, before you know, anything is possible in the world of football. So happy about that. The last thing I want to say before I go to transfers about the improvements we've made is we made four signings in the last window. And I think we also have to call it out. We've made Dogu as a signing before the window. I know Leon is the only signing we've made, and which we made this summer. That we signed him, and then he came at the end of the summer, that we've not actually seen. But when you look at the four major signings we made this summer, in terms of, we made 3 attackers: Benjamin Sesko, Matheus Kua, and Brian Mbeumo. From these 3 players, for example, you can see those attacking players. You can see the prospects. Yes, for the likes of Kua, it's not yet perfect. It's in a rough patch in terms of assists and goals at the moment. But the fact is, when you look at him, you just understand that the assists will come, the goals will come. He has to be patient more. He has to be involved in team plays more. But you can see that we're looking solid in terms of what we did in the business. The transfers we made in the summer are looking good. And also, obviously, the 4th signing we made, obviously, is Seny Lamens, who is amazing, who has brought about composure to the defensive line. And when that first layer of security, that base of your spine is there and giving composure to your team. Your players the defenders are much more confident. The defenders, are willing to believe in the goalkeeper and are not thinking about who is behind them or who is behind them. They're thinking about, okay, we have a very solid guy, at least decent guy so far that we have seen behind them, and it gives them confidence. And even himself is helping his defense in terms of organization, shouting, backing, even helping them with situations where, for example, area crosses, helping them, to cover up certain areas, helping them in build up. Is a safe option in terms of our build up and everything. So I feel the summer win transfers are looking good. Yeah, not yet perfect, but they're looking good. And I feel that's one of the things that we should be happy about. But if you look at it so far, there's none of them you can. There's none of them that you can look and say, maybe this might not work. I think they prospect. Yes, they have to improve. But these guys, the effort is there from all of them. Really, the effort is there from all of them, and they're looking like good signings. So now, talking about signings, let's also look at what we need to do in the next two transfer windows, because I believe that it's not just enough for Ruben Amorim and the current squad to try what they are trying to do and to try their best on the pitch. I believe that also, and majorly you guys will agree, also the actions we take off the pitch in terms of our recruitment will also say a lot of how we progress as a team in the next two transfer windows. And that is the January transfer window and the next summer. I think those two transfer windows are very crucial for what United will be. And this is not just about signing players. This is about signing, players that will change the trajectory of this club. They are very, very crucial. And these two transfer windows, both the winter and the summer transfer window, January and the end of the season, are transfer windows that we have to be dominant. We have to go for them. And in the next two transfer windows, I'm expecting that United should bring in at least four players that are very integral for this squad in the next two transfer windows. 4 important players for this club. And so let me jump right to them. So what I'll be doing is that I won't necessarily be making names, but what I'll be doing is I'll be describing the profiles of the players we want, or the players we should get. And then in subsequent episodes, we'll talk about those positions we've listed out, and then which players do you think, we can fit in there. So let's go into the first profile. Is a left wing back. I think United needs a much more attacking, potent, left wing back. I think Dogu is fantastic. I think Dogu is a player with prospect. You look at him, you cannot deny the fact that guy has the prospect. But the fact is, at that age and his level and the understanding of the game, he's not yet ready to be the starter for Manchester United. And I think you guys will agree. And so we need someone that can become a starter. We need a left wing back that is good defensively, has the intensity, and also can do amazingly well in the final third. Someone that can allow us to hurt teams in the final third. Someone that can really allow us to hurt teams in the final third. I'm not going to mention names, even though I have the names, but it's also going to we analyze that. But I feel you would agree with me, and you can also disagree in the comment section. But I feel that we need to make the left wing back position, someone that can actually hurt teams in the final third. And I feel this person should be a left-footed left wing back, right? A left-footed left wing back, and then the likes of Dogu. Because look at it now. The idea is that, and hopefully the idea is that we go into Europe at the end of the season. Let's assume. So we get more games, not just playing domestic competitions, right? So Dogu will get games maybe in Europe, and those guys, they can be able to shuffle and compete against each other. But we need a left-footed left wing back that is defensively strong, has the ability to go to do that massive work, and can deliver good crosses, good cutbacks, can even be a dangerous person in terms of scoring goals in the final third. Now, the second position, which I think we have mentioned this many times, is in the midfield. United needs to get at least 2 midfielders. At least 2 midfielders, right? At least 2 midfielders. And I think if you look at it, 2 midfielders will be nice. Maybe let's assume the likes of Ugarte leaves. Let's assume the likes of maybe Casemiro also will go, depending on what they do in his contract situation. But I think you just look at least we need two midfielders, and we've identified the profiles. We need a deep line midfielder that has a screen to the defense, right? A deep midfielder that has a screen, and then we need a box-to-box midfielder. The names, we've analyzed them many times, but we need that. We need that so much. For example, against Liverpool, there are certain moments we got that sometimes it's not just about playing an isolated pass to maybe likes of Mbeumo or Kunwa being, sometimes what we needed in certain moments in that Liverpool's game, especially in the first half, was the ability of one very high intensity midfielder to just give us that push and drive the ball, And we need that. When you look at all of our games, we really need that profile. And also, you need someone that's deep line that can give us composure. For example, against Liverpool, we lost composure in the second half. We really lost composure in the second half. And, everything cascaded to us conceding and that goal. So we still want someone that, when it's on the pitch, someone that has the engine, that has the energy to play 90 minutes and can bring composure to our play. When Casemiro is off, Ugarte cannot give us composure. We become worse when Ugarte is on the pitch. With due respect to Ugarte. So we want someone that can act as that screen, that can give us that composure. We definitely need composure if we are to move forward as a club. And we need a midfielder that can give us that composure. I will not mention names. I've done an analysis on it. But let's have our take on who do you think would be nice for this profile, and then we can analyze further. Then lastly, the last position I feel we need to settle in Man United in the next two transfer windows is the right wing back position. I feel that we need a left-footed right wing back that can help us in case of any injury or suspension to Amad Diallo. I did not like the fact that when Ahmad was removed against Liverpool, and I've had this feeling for a long time, that when Ahmad was removed against Liverpool, for example, that's yesterday, in the Liverpool game, that we had to revert to using a different profile and a more defensive-oriented fullback. I think what we are looking to do with this 3-4-3 system is that at the peak of our powers, under a 3-4-3 system under Ruben Amorim, and the kind of dynamism and relationship that likes of Mbeumo and Ahmad has, or Ahmad in front and the other person, we just need someone that can maintain that intensity. So that if Ahmad is being removed, we don't drop in quality. Or if Mbeumo is being removed, we don't drop in quality. That we can still maintain those same two-footed, wingers, one playing as a wing back and the other one playing as an inside forward. So I think we need to maintain that. We really need to maintain that. And I think we have to look at. I know, yes, it's difficult now because the person we're thinking, you guys know what happened to Giovanni Quenda, but I'm not mentioning names in terms of Chelsea's deal with him and anything. But I feel we have to look at other people that can give us that. We must not, because of a substitution or because of a yellow card, lose the dominance we had in that area, right? So we just need to get that. So I know, yes, we have people like Dalot, people like Mazaraoui that can play as a right-footed, more defensive kind of wing back in that position, And also when you look at it also, we are beginning to have some very, very good tweaks in terms of in the last two games now. We started with inverted-footed wing backs in terms of on the left is a right-footed person that plays in Dalot, and on the right is a left-footed wing back that plays. And it's giving us a lot of, at least against Sunderland, it gives us a lot of dominance. Because I've explained in terms of if it is the left, sometimes it's difficult to, to have good angles in passing because you're on the left and you have to now, either try here or push. But for example, you're in the right, you also have good angles, right? In terms of you can turn, play it forward and enter. On the left-hand side, Ahmad, if he's being pressed, can see play it into play in terms of backward, forward. He has those angles backward, listen, on the level and there. Dalot on the other side can see play it backward, forward, and in a stand. So it's not just, so it's a little bit more, flexible. And I think we are getting good results with that inverted footed and wing backs. So maybe we can continue with that. But the fact is, if Ahmad is not there, we are not able to do that. Right? And for example, now the Nations Cup might come up, we might not be able to do that. And I think we should not just have that drop in quality. So we need to get a left-footed right wing back for Manchester United. So guys, these are the little things I have for us today about the improvements we've made in terms of injuries, in terms of fitness, on the pitch, in terms of composure of our midfield, much more short stringing passes. In terms of, the passion is increasing as the matches go on. In terms of our transfers, it looking as if the transfers we have done so far for Ruben Amorim are looking like a hit. Yes, they're not perfect. Some of the players need improvement, but we have to give them time to improve, And some of the players are still trying to get to their best levels. It's expected, really. And let's see how it goes. And also, we've talked about the 4 positions I believe we need to strengthen basically and very, very importantly in the next 2 transfer windows. We talk about the left wing back, the right wing back, and 2 midfielders, 1 deep line, 1 screen, that acts as a screen to the defensive line, and a box to box. So, guys, Thank you for sticking with me today. I remain my humble self, Shegun. Let me have your thoughts on what I've said. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What position do you think we need to improve? What thing that we have we improved in that I've not mentioned that people are not talking about? Let's have that in the comment section. Thank you for sticking with me. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and most importantly, don't forget to share. Until I see you next time. Bye.